Hey guys, in today's video I am going to demonstrate a technique called a deploy container. This is the technique when we initially could get foothold on a Kubernetes cluster environment. So the attacker can deploy a malicious container in order to compromise the worker node or any node which is in the cluster. It may be the master node as well. So we will see all of these things in actions. So let's get started. First thing we need to understand the deployed container is a technique which is under the objectives called execution. So it means that initial access, it may be that using the public facing applications, and the valid credential or default credential will lead attacker to have an initial foothold in the orchestration environment. So in our case, we have the exploited public application, and which will lead to to have a foothold on one of the container. And because the container is misconfigured, we will be using this misconfigured privileges to deploy a new container. So let's try to understand some of the attack surface which the attacker can leverage in these areas. As you know that we have the CI/CD pipeline when we talk about the Kubernetes cluster. So we have our developer; those are continuously working to meet the requirement of the customers, and they are following the agile methodology. So we have to understand the what is the attack surface from that perspective. So when we talk about the developer perspective, so these are the attack surfaces where you can see that weak credential is one of the key attack surface here, and similarly the other attack surfaces which the attacker can leverage. And we also have the IT and operation based attacks which may lead to compromise the CI/CD pipeline. For example, that including the codes which has the vulnerabilities, design flaws, all of these things. But in our case, we will be focusing on the production app vulnerability where the application is already running in the production. And let's see. So a little bit more about the deployment container with respect to the MITRE attack. So what is the objectives and what is there? So in executions, the attacker may deploy the malicious container because he and she get that kind of privileges, and the container runs with the tokens, or you can say the service accounts. Service account stores these tokens somewhere in the mount folder. This kind of enumerations can be performed once you have an initial foothold. And the objective is to bypass the existing security controls. Most of the times is to elevate the privileges, to move from a one node to another node and compromise the whole cluster. And what are the means to achieve these objectives is using the Kubernetes, using the different utilities. For example, I'm using the kubectl in this area, and they might be using the Docker start and create APIs to achieve these objectives. So the time for demo, let's see all of this in action. All right, now attacker has initial access in one of the key Kubernetes environment, but not sure about which pod it is and which node it is, and it is in the master or a worker node, or it is which of the container it is running. So we can enumerate, or attacker can enumerate also these things. Look for the env environment variable. Yes, it shows that it is Kubernetes environment. And attacker can also get the informations using the cgroups. So here is the command for cgroups. Yeah, that is also shows that few pods are running. So the first objective is to came to know how many pods are running, how many nodes are there in the Kubernetes cluster, who is the master node, who is the worker node. So such kind of things need to be gathered. So how we can gather these informations from an attacker perspective, that we will see in this video. And let's go ahead and try to identify uh, like the things. For example, first we need to identify the mounts, because these are all of them are running with the service accounts, because we don't have the users the pod side. So when the service account configured, they used to keep this some tokens somewhere. So we will find out where these tokens are. So first we need to enumerate for the mounts. See, here is the mount which talks about the Kubernetes. So let's enumerate it further, identify what is there in the mount. So these are the three, the files or directory exist. So I'm interested in token. So I will go ahead and look for the token itself. See, the token contains the keys which will allow us to, to get the privileges, because the service account usually runs with based on the keys. We can also look for the namespace. This container is part of the which namespace. So what we will do, we will go ahead and look for this. We'll see that this is the part of the default namespace. That's cool. And we have the key now. Now the how attacker can leverage all of these components, we can export this key to the environment, because right now if you see the environment, we don't have any keys so that we can get these privileges. So I'm exporting this key to the environment. So now I have exported. So I'll see the environment. Now we have the key in the environment itself. Okay, apart from this, what the attacker will do, attacker will try to gather the pod informations. We have here that Kubernetes IP address. So we will be using this Kubernetes IP to gather all the pod informations, how many pods are there. So he can do using the wget command, because most of the time you will not find some of the key utility, for example ANSI, which is there along good, and which apart from this you will not find sometime curl. So the curl is mostly used, but you will find most of the time wget. So wget will be always be there. So I'm using wget and browsing this. This is the default directories for the pods, and including the header which has the authorization header. The tokens are included, which I have already uploaded into the environment variable, and disabling that certificate checks, including all of them into the pods. So let's see, we got the pod over there. Yes. So we have successfully collected all the information related to pod, but this is the one of the key. But apart from this, since we need the kubectl to interact with this, so we can check the kubectl exists on this. If the kubectl doesn't exist, then attacker can download from its system, because it is the binary which is used to interact with the system. So attacker can download. This is my attacking machine IP. So I'm downloading this. Once it's downloaded, then we can change the permissions for it. And kubectl, we have granted the execution permissions. Now the attacker can get all the information by executing this utility, because this utility used to interact with the API server in the master node. So you can see right now we have the 4 pods are running, and also we can gather the information regarding the nodes, how many nodes are there. So you can see we have 2 nodes. First one is CyberSkills 99, which is controller or the master. We have worker node as well. So 2 nodes are there. So what else attacker can do? Attacker can in this video I'm going to show you that how attacker can deploy new pods with a malicious intention, and which can lead to the host compromise, or in this case the worker one, because this node is running on the worker one. So let's see how it can be done. So attacker downloaded the malicious YAML from his system using this command. Once it's downloaded, so let's verify. We have the malicious.yaml file. So attacker can use the same utility kubectl to create this new pod. You can see right now there is the message which indicates that new pod has been created. We can verify that this pod. Yeah, this pod is exists now, and we can also delete the pod if the attacker would like to. because this is the one of the issues with the permissions. If you have such kind of permissions, that will lead you to in that direction. So we have created the pod and we have deleted the pod. So it shows that what kind of privileges you have to perform on this. So apart from this, as a elevation of privileges, the attacker can compromise the existing node, and he can, force to create a new pod onto that, master node, which will allow to compromise the whole cluster if the master is reachable. An attacker can also move from one node to another node, and that can be the part of your YAML file. You can specify that on which host you would like, because you have all the host information as well as the container information. So that is the next step in this area. That's it in this video. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next video.